Coke was the only drug I ever did where it turned me into a sociopath. It was kind of like, I know this is bad. I don't care. I
Mm-hmm.
know this
Oh
isn't the
yeah.
best thing for me. I know
Mm-hmm.
this is changing my personality in ways that aren't altogether great. And I didn't care. And that's why I quit. Because I would see the personalities of long term users actually change, where it was like, I don't even know who you are anymore.
Well,
Mm.
I think also that was what was attractive to people who had, you know, their own emotional pathology, if I can use that term
Mm-hmm.
incorrectly, Matthew. Just
Mm-hmm.
say when. Um,
Yes.
but you know, we want to shut down that committee that's talking to us, telling us, you know,
Yeah.
you're worthless, you're stupid, you're,
Mm.
you know, you're never gonna do achieve anything that you want to achieve.
Hmm.
You know, those
Yeah.
I
voices.
call that
Coke would.
common sense.
Well, I never. Um, you know, it silenced that. I mean, it served that
Yeah.
purpose too for people. And, you know, I think that's what you're referring to, Alec, when you talk about how it would cut you off from any kind of, from what you're, it sounds like you're saying conscience,
Hmm.
but it also cut me off from any kind of introspection, which
Right.
was, you know, at that time, not a safe place to be.
Right. Yeah. When the noise that goes on within us can just be so dark and can be so heavy, we don't really want to go there. We have to go there if we ever want to be able to rewrite those narratives for ourselves. But that's a really difficult thing, and it's also really overwhelming if we don't have the tools to know how to do that. So
Exactly.
there are for sure different things that we can do in order to just kind of like stay more on the surface. Obviously, substances can do that. Coke or Adderall, really any kind of stimulant, really helps to just kind of like hyper focus and kind of
Hmm.
streamline our thought process so that we then can be really clear, so that we can just kind of like stay where we need to be. But again, it also keeps us from, healing some of the other stuff.
Well,
Laraine,
I put.
what about for
Um,
you?
Go
What
ahead.
at what point then were you able to, like, move away from Coke and find other ways of managing some of that noise for yourself?
Well, I really think that when I came back from New York, I had kind of PTSD, and I wanted nothing more than to just kind of stay in my home and do coke and play solitaire and smoke cigarettes because I never drank.
Mm,
So I
You
would
never
just like,
drank.
I never drank alcohol. So
mm.
I would read, you know, like The Ascent of Man by Jacob Bronowski. Do I remember it? No. But, you know, I would read and eat to come down from Coke. But the
Mm,
thing is that I really just wanted to have nothing to do with life.
mm.
Didn't want to think or
I've been there.
feel. I just wanted to die.
Yeah.
You know, it just wasn't happening fast enough because I was so healthy.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Um, so what happened was I had the moment of clarity. I had an audition, and most all of my auditions were terrible. I'm a terrible auditioner.
Really?
Oh God, yes.
I would think
And
as a groundling yes and improv queen, you'd be able to.
Yeah, I would too.
well, the thing is, and everybody hates it when I say this, I did not know I was auditioning for SNL because Lorne Michaels was in the audience and I didn't know it.
Oh,
When he first hired me for a Lily Tomlin special, he and Lily were in the audience at the Groundlings, and I didn't know they were there. Had I
Oh.
known, I think my life would have taken
Oh.
a different path entirely.
I
Oh, so
just watched
they
that.
just showed up at the Groundlings then. It
They
wasn't
made
even
me
like you went
this
in for the audition.
exactly. They came to the show.
You
Oh,
were
so it
like
was
Richard
easier for
Dreyfuss
you
in
not to.
Goodbye Girl.
I pardon me.
You were like Richard Dreyfuss in Goodbye Girl. You were discovered doing an improv show.
There you go.
Yeah.
Uh, so you know, I really have just an abject fear of it. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't work much on camera anymore unless somebody gives me a job because
Uh,
I can't do it. But the thing is that I'd had this audition. I knew it was bad. My agent called me. God, Michael Black. Do you know Michael Black?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's one of the funniest. I mean, I had that was my big complaint was he was funnier than me. But he called and he said, "How'd it go?" And I said, "I sucked." And he says, "Good. I want to make sure that you were aware of that because I got to tell you, honey, they called me and
I said,
wanted to know
Jesus,
what
she
was
shit the
wrong with
bed.
you." want
Yeah.
to know what was wrong with you. And they said, they thought maybe you were anorexic because I was like 85 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I was so indignant. It was like, I'm not anorexic. I'm a coke addict, damn it. Because I didn't have an eating disorder. I was a thin person with a coke habit.
Right.
But I realized that this door to the world, this last door to the world outside of my house, was going to close.
Mm.
And that's when I thought, I want to live. I do want to live. I do want to be a part of the world. And so my dealer referred me to a therapist. He told me, I swear to God,
Wow.
she referred me to a therapist. The therapist said, I cannot treat you until you get sober, which was the first time any therapist had ever said that to me.
Yeah.
And she referred me to a Catholic priest, and he referred me to Brotman Memorial Chemical Dependency Unit. That was April 28th, 1987.
Wow.
And I had no expectation. I just wanted to learn how to use drugs like normal people.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to get AA, but I was willing to do anything
Yeah.
to be able to come back to life.